Hello and welcome to the absolute beginner guitar lesson for Dua Lipa's song Levitating. If you know how to play guitar and have some advanced skill, this is probably not the lesson for you. Otherwise, if you are an absolute beginner and you want to just start getting this song under your hands, this is a great place for you to start. I'm going to show you simple one-note ways to approach this and two-note ways to approach this with a very basic rhythm. So the song itself, if you're to play it close to the way it's actually played, would be... We're not going to do that, but we are going to follow that basic rhythm with one finger first and then two fingers a little bit afterwards. So what are we doing? Well, we're going to just play the bass notes pretty much and in the simplest form possible to follow along. So here's an example. This is first finger at the 7th fret. Press down on the 7th fret of the E string, so that's the thickest string, and you hit it twice. And then you let it go. When you let it go, you leave your finger on it just a little bit. You take this part of your right hand and you put it on the string, so and it stops it. That lets you move your first finger 2 frets forward and 1 string down. So your first finger lands on the 9th fret of the A string. That's the 5th string up from the bottom. You hit that twice. And then again, you drop that hand on to mute it. You lift this first finger up, and you move it back to the 7th fret, still on that 5th string, the A string. So at the 7th fret, you hit that twice. And then you bring this hand in, mute it, and you lift this finger up, and you go back up to the first note that we hit, which was the 7th fret on the 6th string, and you hit that twice. So the whole thing slow motion is... Speed it up a little. Okay, that's one basic way to play it. There is another way to play it. If you have a capo, which if you're an absolute beginner, I wouldn't be surprised if you don't. But if you do have a capo, you clip the capo on at the 2nd fret. And this will allow you to play just open strings. The first open string is the A open string, so it's the 5th string. And you mute it. You can mute it 2 ways. You can either do it the way we talked about before with your right hand, or you can use your left hand and just touch it like that. Don't push down, just touch, and it kills the sound. Then you go to the 6th string and mute it. Then you drop down to the 4th string, back to the 5th string. So that's the basic progression for this whole song. If you want to start getting a little more complex, there's 2 ways we can do it. We can add a little bit of chord, that's 2-note chords, and you can add a moving bass line, what's called a passing chord or a passing note in the bass lines that we hit. You can only do that one up here. But let's start with the chords. So this first one, we can add a basic chord to that. So that first chord that you're hitting is the open 5th string, but if you add your first finger at the 2nd fret, that's 1 fret, 2 frets up from the capo, on the 4th string. So open 5th string, first finger on the 4th string at the 2nd fret in front of the capo. You got 2 notes there. It's a very basic shape. You're going to hit that twice. Then I use my right hand to mute it. Then you move that first finger up 1 string. So you've got the open E string, that's the 6th string, and the 5th string with your first finger on that 2nd fret. And then I mute. Just hit it twice. And mute. Then you drop down to your first finger on the 3rd fret. The 3rd string. Still at the 2nd fret. You hit that twice. Then you jump it back up a string. So you've got the whole song in these basic chords. You can play the whole song this way. If you're an absolute beginner, I recommend you actually try to play along with the song that way. Let's expand it a little bit. Still using your first finger, you can go back up to the 7th fret on the 6th string. Play that 1 note. When you move that finger up to the 9th fret, 1 string down, so on the 5th string, You can actually do what's called a passing note, which is just to move one fret back and then get to the 7th fret. So you got. If you want to do a little more advanced, that's a little more movement. The next level of advanced is these chords in the same location. So you're going to use exactly the same notes with that first finger, but you're going to add your 3rd finger one string down so that it hits 2 frets in front of the first finger but 1 string down. This gives you a basic power chord. Now if you just follow the first finger, from the 7th fret you move it up to that 9th fret but 1 string down, so on the 5th string. And then you move it 2 frets back, so you're still on the 5th string but you're at the 7th fret. That first finger's on the 7th fret, 3rd finger's on the 9th fret, and then back up to the top. So you get a power chord version of this. Alright, so that's absolute basic beginner. You've got 3-4 ways to play it. Starting with one finger, doing a little passing note if you want. Do it open. With chords. The last way was with power chords. There you go. It's the easiest way I can think of to play that song, and as you watch other lessons and get to know more, you'll find a lot that you can add to it. This way, you can actually start singing and playing along if you want right now. Have fun.